What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gaming with the Bros Cast, episode 158. My name is Harrison. I am joined by my brother Nick. As always, Nick, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. We also have a
We
special
do.
guest in our midst today. Matthew. What's up, Matthew?
What's up?
What's up? What's
Matthew.
up? So yeah, we mainly are going to be talking about all the Nintendo Direct stuff that happened. What was it, Wednesday? Now it feels like forever ago now.
I know, it's still in my mind though. Still thinking about it.
Oh yeah, so we're playing new stuff directly from that Direct. So, but Nick, before we dive into to games we've been playing, Last of Us Episode 5, how was your week?
It's pretty good. Didn't do too much. Watched the Super Bowl. Had some beers. It's a good game.
It was a great game. Yeah, it was one of the better games in recent history, or recent memory that I can think of.
Yeah, as someone who's not like a football guy,
yeah,
like I was pretty like enthralled throughout the game. Like normally I just watch it for the commercials and the halftime show, and Rihanna was great.
Yeah, I thought she was great.
But yeah, the actual game was awesome.
Yeah, when you don't have like a dog in a fight, when your team isn't in the game, it's bad because obviously you want them to be there, but it's also good because you can just enjoy the game for what it is and not have to necessarily get upset if some play does not go your way. But yeah, it was a really good game.
Yeah. Matthew, did you have a dog in the fight?
I mean, Jalen Hurts won me the fantasy league, so
okay.
I did prefer. I did want the Eagles to win over Kansas City, but I mean, it is what it is.
So Matthew won our league this year.
Okay.
And he was the only person that auto drafted.
I was in Germany for work at the time, and so I just set auto draft to pick specific positions, and I only made 5 pickups from the waivers the entire season. I did very, very little, and I won. You know, I went the Warren Buffett method of fantasy football, just buy and hold.
Buy and hold.
And it paid off.
It's a pretty good win too. Pretty sizable win.
It was pretty solid.
Do y'all do like money or anything for your league, or like the loser has to do like a punishment or something like that, or is it just strictly for fun?
We do money.
Okay.
What was it, 25 buy-in?
It was like 25 buy-in, and then we thought that we had an agreement on the punishment for the last place, but there was disagreement on what last place was going to do. So next year, though,
basically we didn't decide it before the season started.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it got a little dicey after that.
Yeah. Once players start to get hurt and you realize what's going on, it's hard to commit to a punishment when you may be the loser.
Yeah, I was looking like I was going to be in last place for a while, but
yeah, I haven't done fantasy in like 2 years, and I've been itching to get back into it. So I'll probably do that next year with somebody. But yeah, fantasy's fun, man. It makes you care about like each individual game, and when you may not necessarily. I mean, I usually try to watch all the games anyways, but I mean sometimes I can't. But it's always fun just to pull up the app and see what's going on.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't have cable, so I can't watch the show. Like, can't watch the games. It's like I'll just watch it on my phone, pretty much, just like watching the scores.
Yeah, I generally catch like Amazon Prime, like Thursday games, just because it's on Prime, and then Mondays like directly on ESPN, and then I can occasionally catch like the Sunday games, but I don't have cable either, so it just kind of depends. Like maybe sometimes I can log into one of like the respective apps and with Dad's information, and sometimes it'll let me in, but sometimes it won't, just because it's kind of weird sometimes.
Yeah.
But cool. Anything else? Anything else major happened this weekend? That's about all I did, was just Super Bowl stuff.
Nah, just football, pretty much.
Did y'all have like any good food or anything like that?
Had some wings.
Okay.
Had some wings, some guacamole, some chips.
Nice.
Pretty good.
Sweet.
Yeah. Do you have anything good?
We went over to our friends, one of our friends' house. That he has like a really cool, like, I don't know, man cave, football cave, like right above his garage. I don't know if it was like an attic and he converted it or whatever. But on the walls, it's got like the fake football grass, and he's got like the yard lines on there. He's got a bunch of like Eagles like jerseys and Panthers jerseys and a whole bunch of stuff. Like it's decked out. Whole like liquor cart and like a built-in mini fridge into the wall. It's super cool. So we hung out there. And we had like ribs and wings and bacon wrapped scallops. Those were really good. Broccoli salad. It was all good. It was good.
Broccoli salad?
Broccoli salad.
Nice.
Yeah, that stuff is super good. But yeah, Nick, you want to dive into The Last of Us?
Yeah. Could you? Okay. I might switch to headphones.
Okay.
Just because I'm worried about the feedback showing up.
Okay.
I'm gonna do split headphones real quick.
Oh,
okay.
I still get to participate?
Oh yeah.
Split headphone, nice.
All right.
Sweet.
Ready to jump into Last of Us episode 5?
Episode 5. Arguably one of the best episodes, which I was very surprised going into it. Matthew, have you been watching The Last of Us?
I haven't, but it's gonna be a little bit until I do. So feel free. Feel free.
All right, cool. So yeah, Nick, I mean, I figured this would be, you know, kind of not a lackluster episode, but like not, you know, nearly as good as the other ones, and it turned out to be one of the best ones yet, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't want to call it a dip with episode 4 because episode 4 was still really good, but just, I mean, compared to the first 3, it wasn't as good, but then it comes back so strong, like with, I don't know, that entire storyline, that episode of Kansas City, finishing that out with Henry and his brother.
Yeah.
Like Henry and Sam, like that was another crier episode, another episode that ends in tears.
Yeah.
Like it's like every other episode at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem I had with episode 4 is, again, like I wanted more, and I felt like if you watched this in 4 and 5 back to back, like you would have been thoroughly satisfied.
Yeah,
because like the whole Kathleen thing, like I really didn't like her as that much of a character, to be honest. Like, I don't know, like maybe it's a little bit foreshadowing to season 2 of The Last of Us, or part 2 in the games, however you want to say it. That revenge is really never a good idea in this show, in this series, because it's always going to bite you in the end.
And that's all she was looking for, right? Was just getting revenge.
Yeah,
and it wasn't worth it.
No, like you risked your. I mean, we can get to it in a second, but I mean, you risked your entire people just to kill one person.
Yeah, like that's what I was wondering in episode 4 is like, how are they gonna tie this in? Like, how is an entire group of people looking after one guy and his brother, essentially? Like, it didn't seem realistic. Like,
yeah,
like what could he have done that was that bad? And you know, it makes sense now knowing what he did. But
and even like whenever, you know, she was in her like childhood apartment or house or whatever, and Perry comes in and he's like, well, you know, your brother, we all loved your brother, but he didn't change things. You did. We got your back. Like, I don't know. I just didn't really understand why they followed her in the first place. Like, her motivation seemed way askewed based off like the needs of the many, you know, the needs of the one over the needs of the many. Like, I just didn't understand why they were following her to death, pretty much.
Well, I think that's revenge. Like, I think they showed that in the last episode of like her, of like when she talked to everybody, she was like, this person killed our people. This person is bad. And she pretty much tried to sell it like that. Yeah.
But he betrayed his people, but he didn't kill. He got one person killed, essentially.
You know, and he did it for his brother.
And he did, yeah.
And of course, like, she doesn't know that, but
yeah. I mean, yeah, he ended up getting leukemia, I think, and he needed the medicine. So, you know, he made that choice, and whether or not it was it was a very selfish choice, of course, but and he sacrificed one person over another, you know, a brother for a brother, you know. So, like, I get it, but like also, it just didn't make a lot of sense if you were like a follower of this person specifically. But But yeah, I mean, all the stuff like going into like after they figured out their game plan and went down into the tunnels, and I don't know if you caught this, Nick, but that area was from The Last of Us. Like there's like I can't remember the name, but there's like a story when you're in like the tunnels, and there's like a story of like the people that live there. And you can, and I think you can pick up like each letter and stuff like that as you're making your way through the tunnel in the game. Yeah. And that person's name is on the wall or something like that, which is like kind of like a little nod to the game.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then of course, like they get out and then the raiders start coming for them.
Yeah.
And Joel like goes and picks up the sniper, kills that guy.
Yeah, and I was like, why? Like my whole thought was like, why have it like an old feeble man guarding this tower?
Yeah, that was weird.
And he had like horrible old guy, you know, or whatever. So
just a bad shot. And then Joel comes in, and I swear to God, like I think Alicia said this like 5 times, but she was like, Joel is so sexy when she saw him like sniping all those people and defending everybody.
It's Pedro Pascal, man.
He's so sexy. I was like, yeah, I see it. Like,
didn't he win like the sexiest man alive this year or something, or last year?
I wouldn't doubt it if that was true.
The Mandalorian himself. Come on.
I don't think he's been in a single episode of TV that's been under like 9 out of 10 stars.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, Mandalorian, Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Just
Narcos.
Just his episodes, though. I mean,
yeah. But yeah, like he was like, man, he was kind of popping off.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, he was holding it down, but.
That was some gameplay type stuff. Like that's like if you were playing the Last of Us game, like that's the kind of stuff you do. Is like, oh, defend Ellie and Sam.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was cool.
It was a great scene, and like it was very, you know, whenever they get there and they're standing right behind the car, and you know, Henry's gonna give himself up. You know, I didn't know exactly. I didn't know if they would change like how he died in the show or versus the game or whatever, but.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when he steps out and then all of a sudden, because we knew the bloater was going to be in the show, based off of like the preview, and when that car fell down into the pit, and you're just like, oh my god,
yeah, that was sick,
and like it really, because up until that point, I mean, we haven't really seen that many infected other than when they were in the initial city. And there was like a decent amount, but there was like hundreds pouring
and they were
out
fast too.
It was super fast, and I mean, it was a mix of like clickers, which I like the fact that they said clicker in the show.
Yeah.
But you now see why humanity lost, based off of
like
that
in an instant.
Yeah, I mean
everyone was screwed.
Got just destroyed, and then even like the very end, like Kathleen is still trying to get revenge and gets killed by that kid clicker or whatever.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then of course when her like right hand man it's just like ripped apart by the bloater. That was crazy.
Yeah, exactly how they do in the game. That was awesome. But he was like, I don't know, he was just standing there shooting, and I was like, why aren't you running away?
I don't know.
It makes no sense. But I guess maybe this is more like lore for the game, but what's the difference between, can the bloater actually see? Or
I think
because like the clicker, like their whole thing is like the fungus eventually covers their eyes, so they have to rely on their other senses. But I mean, the bloater is like a 15-year, 10-year like alive.
It seems like it can see, but I don't know if that would make sense, because like the clicker is like that's a couple of years, right, of degradation, and then
maybe in the game they can't see, because I think it was based on noise too.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think you could sneak past them in the game, like when that first time you fight a bloater in like that in that house.
Yeah.
Where you have to like restart the generator. I think that might be the first time you fight him. I think you can actually sneak around him and not fight him, but yeah, it may be drawn to noise too.
Yeah, it still makes sense in the show because it was drawn towards the assault rifle.
Yeah.
Noise.
Okay. Yeah, but then after like Kathleen gets killed and they run off, and it cuts back to the I'll call it the emergence hole, whatever, from Gears, and they would just continue, like all of them, like it was so crazy. It was so cool to see, and they were all like, I'm sure some of it was CGI, but for the most part it was actual real people which I think made it so convincing.
Yeah, I guess you watched the like the after show.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
video. That was cool. Yeah, like it's so crazy how little, like how just not a lot of it's CGI. Like a lot of it's just real people in makeup, and like that's what makes it so realistic. It's like you have this giant crowd of infected coming at you, and it feels real because it kind of is.
Yeah, and then that one scene where Ellie jumps into the car and the clicker gets in there and she's like, oh, it was so cool looking seeing that.
It was a great episode, man.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
And then of course, the way it ends is very similar to the game.
Yeah.
But slightly tweaked, right? Like Ellie tries to be the hero.
Yeah.
Tries to give her blood to Sam, and she's like, maybe it's gonna work. Like, I don't know. Of course, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming when we get to the end of this thing, it's going to be kind of like copy and paste from the game, but I just don't think there's a cure possible. Anyways, I think she's just lucky and immune to it. I don't think they can even synthesize like a cure based off of her blood. Because they have to in the game they have to kill her, but they have to get it from her brain or something. Like maybe it's I don't know. But
I'm sure there's going to be the same thing in the show.
Yeah, it'll probably be pretty similar, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah, any last thoughts on? Obviously, I think next week we're getting some sort of time skip, maybe, or maybe I'm thinking next week because we'll get to Tommy, right? He meets up with Tommy based off of the previews, so maybe we'll see that, and then
maybe a time skip.
Maybe a time skip after the. I don't want to spoil anything further than that based off of the game, but yeah, we may be getting a time skip after next week's episode. So we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, I think episode 5 is one of the best so far.
Yeah, it's like three
best.
3 and 5 are right there.
Yeah.
As far
I talked to another friend yesterday who said episode 3 was one of the best episodes of television he's ever watched.
It was incredible. It was really good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll move off from The Last of Us and we'll dive into what we've been playing. Nick, I see some Dead Space on here.
Maybe I shouldn't have put that on there because I haven't played any more since last week. I'm sorry. I finished up Fire Emblem Engage.
Okay.
It's on here. Don't worry about it. Yeah, finished up Engage. So I hit chapter 25, and after spending an hour and 50 minutes on one chapter, I was like, all right, I'm going to kick this down. I kicked down the difficulty from hard to medium, and I was like, I just want to get through this. Like, I'm really enjoying it, but I don't want to have to spend 2 hours on a chapter.
Yeah. And
especially if I, at the end, have to restart. Like, God forbid I have to restart at the end, because I got very close in chapter 24. I ran out of my divine pulses. I was on my last chance, and I got it without anybody dying. But I was like, man, I don't want to go through this again. I know these last chapters are going to be hard, so I just kicked it down. Really enjoyed it. There was a huge disparity between normal and hard, almost like a comical disparity of difficulty.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, really enjoyed the game. Excited to play more of it. Excited to maybe do a new game plus at some point, and then I don't know, maybe play through on a higher difficulty later with the DLC. We'll see, but yeah, great game. Love Fire Emblem. Very excited for the GBA game coming out.
Zero Mission.
Coming months.
Or is it?
Oh no, just Fire Emblem 7.
Oh yeah, why am I thinking about Metroid?
Zero Mission.
Fire Emblem. Yep. Yeah, I'm excited to play the other Fire Emblem too, because that's the only.
And that one's goated.
That was nostalgic for. So yeah, I'm excited for it when they eventually roll that out.
Yeah.
Which they didn't give any sort of timeline, I don't think. So who knows?
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be a monthly thing or what, but
yeah, I'm not sure.
Sweet. But yeah, aside from Fire Emblem, I really want, and Dead Space is kind of my next game that I'm going to finish.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish that before Prime. But I, of course, jumped into Metroid Prime when it launched. You and I have both never played the original Metroid Prime, so
right.
we're both really excited for it. I've played 3. I think you've probably played a little bit of 3.
I think I watched you play. I don't think I ever actually played it myself.
But of
you
course,
were definitely more on the Wii gaming.
I was the Wii boy.
Yeah, than I was. I think I played Zelda, and that was like Twilight Princess, and that may have been
it for the Wii, right?
It for the most part. I mean, I remember watching you play the Conduit and
the Conduit,
like Red Steel and stuff like that. So
yeah, Red Steel was really good.
Yeah, especially 2. Like 2 was really cool.
Yeah, because that one used the Wii Motion Plus.
Yeah,
that's cool. But yeah, so like my only experience with Metroid Prime was playing a little bit last year on like an emulator.
Yeah.
And I only played through the first part of it. Yeah, this game is really, really, really good. It's classic Metroidvania, just like you'd expect from a game like Metroid, like Metroid Dread. Like it kind of gives that same satisfaction of playing through a couple of areas, unlocking a new weapon, and then having that like aha moment of like, I know where I can use this.
That's the best feeling.
Yeah, and like the morph ball integration is so good. Like, I know I'm talking about a 20-year-old game, but
hey, but it holds up though, right? I mean,
it does. Like, I was worried about how the morph ball would work in 3D, but there's like a lot of like half pipe type stuff where you're boosting and you're getting momentum and you're ramping up a half pipe and the gameplay is really good. Like the dual stick controls are really fluid, but of course you can lock on as well, so it kind of makes it a little bit easier. And then like there's a lot of cool stuff with the visor. Like there's like the thermal vision where you can see enemies' weak spots and you can scan enemies and all this stuff. And yeah, it's having a lot of fun with it so far.
Awesome. I mean, it's been reviewed pretty well, and I watched OJ's Player Essence video, like the first 30 minutes or so of it, and it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Like I know they didn't like really do too much, like as far, it's not like a Dead Space or a Resident Evil remake remaster, but it's quality and even looking at like old screenshots of that game, it still holds up really well.
Honestly,
without the visual upgrade, which is crazy what they were able to do on the GameCube back then. It kind of shows how like powerful the GameCube actually was compared to like PS2 and Xbox back in the day.
Yeah, and I know they call it a remaster, but man, looking at old screenshots and old videos, like it's almost more in line with a remake.
Really? Okay.
Like a complete remake. Like it looks really good.
Okay.
Like, the environments look great. Like of course, like the actual creatures and monsters, like they kind of look like they're from the GameCube era. You know, they're kind of like very angly and I mean, you know, kind of how those look. But
are you playing it on handheld or on the TV?
Mostly TV so far.
TV. Sweet. Okay.
Yeah, but it still looks great in handheld, especially on the OLED.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm waiting. I got my which I'm glad I did at the time because I think it's sold out in a lot of places, but I got it pre-ordered. Mm-hmm. Which Amazon said it was supposed to come today, but Nintendo said the 22nd, but it didn't come today. So
yeah, it's probably not gonna.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that. So I mean, I'm fine. I'm fine with waiting. I've got Zelda to play through. I've got Hi-Fi Rush that I've been playing through. So
yeah, plenty to play. I mean, I have plenty to play, but God, you know, when they shadow drop Metroid Prime.
Yeah, that was huge. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, but yeah, that was awesome. I did not expect the shadow drop necessarily.
Yeah.
Until the moment it came up, and I was like, I think you were like shadow drop. They did like
just the way they said it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Well, sweet. Well, I'm glad it's great. I mean, it's like I said, it's been reviewing really well. I think it's like one score below what it scored back then, so one or two
pretty
scores.
Damn good.
So that's pretty damn good for this age of gaming. So awesome. Do you think they trickle these out for the next year, like 2 and 3? Do you think they put those out as their individual remasters, or do you think this is it? You think so?
I think they do those to bridge the gap between this and Prime 4.
I think I'd be okay with that. Like if we didn't get Prime 4 until maybe like holiday next year, and we got
2 and 3.
2 and 3. Maybe 2 this year and then 3 beginning of next year, something like that. I think that I'd be totally fine with that.
Yeah.
So, anything else you've been playing?
No. Need to get back into Dead Space. Need to finish Hi-Fi Rush. But that's pretty much it. But Matthew, have you been playing anything?
I've been playing the next gen Witcher 3 remake. I
Nice.
finished out regular game and the Hearthstone, and then as soon as
you restarted it from the beginning and played
through
it?
No. I'd finished those two out, and I was like, I'll play through Blood and Wine later. And then as soon as they announced the next gen remake, I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing. And I play. I mean, you've heard Nick talk. I do everything. I take a while. So for me, this is like playing an entire new game again. It's like buying a new game. Like, it's that extensive.
Nice.
And like Blood and Wine, I think it's so much more colorful and like artistic than than like the original game, or like the original location maps.
Yeah.
So
it looks beautiful.
It's taking up a lot of time.
Well, those DLCs are pretty substantial.
Yeah.
Like Heart of Stone, it didn't expand on the environment or the geography any, but it was like a 10 hour plus.
Oh yeah.
DLC.
I mean, this is.
I mean, obviously
it's much longer. There's new monsters, and then they also brought in like a home building, right? You get a Corso Blanco or whatever it is. You basically get a winery.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah, and you have to. You're like, oh, would you like to remodel it? Like this was overtaken, and now it's yours because it used to be the cemetery. And you just dump a lot of hours into money to get all of Grandmaster armor in order to upgrade all of your home. Like, you get to do some home building, and it's
a lot.
It takes some time.
Nice. Nick, I'm gonna switch us over real quick.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
All right, cool.
It's noticeable switching between the two. Like, I'm sticking with the 60 FPS instead of trying to do ray tracing when I'm playing it.
I find it really hard to, whenever they have the options for ray tracing and 60 FPS, I find it really hard to go back to 30 at this point.
Yeah. I was just like, oh, but this is so nice. It's just smooth.
Yeah, it's like they had that with Dead Space too. It's like
it runs like really bad. Like, there's like,
and is it 30? Is it 30?
It's got to be a sub 30.
Yeah, because it feels weird, man.
Yeah, and maybe it runs 30 when like there's not much going on, but even just moving the camera, like panning the camera around, it feels like it stutters, and maybe that's just we're used to 60 now for most part, and maybe we just never realized it. But I don't remember stuff back in the day like Gears of War. Like, I don't remember it feeling that bad, but yeah.
I also remember GoldenEye having amazing graphics. So that's
yeah, that is true.
When in reality, it runs at 2 frames per second.
Have you played the new?
I have not. Okay. I have not played the.
Gotcha.
No, yeah.
I don't think we ever played GoldenEye back in the day, Nick.
Yeah, we did.
Did we play? I thought we played like Turok. It was like Turok we played.
No, we played GoldenEye.
All about that remote helicopter or whatever it was.
We played like Agent Under Fire.
Oh, you're right. It was Agent Under Fire.
Yeah, that was super fun. I don't think we ever had GoldenEye because that was on the 64.
Maybe we didn't.
I don't think we did. I don't
Agent Under Fire was pretty lit though.
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
Play GoldenEye?
Am I thinking of the wrong game?
Well,
I think it was just on 64. But Agent Under Fire and like, there was a couple of like really fun James Bond games on the GameCube.
Yeah,
that were super cool. Matthew,
what you been playing?
Do you like the Witcher TV show? Have you watched that at all?
I'm a big fan. I mean, I watched the TV show. I watched the they did the animation, the Netflix with wow, blanket, not Geralt, but who's his mentor?
Oh shoot.
Oh shoot. I don't know.
Like my mind goes to like Yennefer. No, but no. But anyway, but yeah, no, but all about him. But it was interesting seeing the sort of the anthology, a little bit of the anthology. I haven't watched any of the right. Didn't they actually come out with an anthology series?
Yeah, they did the prequel,
the Blood Origin.
Origin. Blood Origin. I haven't watched any of that yet, but I like the Witcher TV show.
It's not super great. And they go off the they change like the origin story for The Witcher from the books.
Oh,
but
which is really weird. But
I'm excited for season 3. I'm not excited too much about season 4.
Oh yeah, getting Liam in there versus
getting our boy Liam.
That is like, man, Henry Cavill like is Geralt, man. Like he plays that role so perfectly.
He's that more than he is Superman.
Oh, for sure.
I
didn't really like him that much in Superman, but
yeah.
I mean, I thought he did okay, but yeah, he is Geralt. So that,
I mean, he knows it. He took a pay cut to play that, and
because he likes it so much.
He likes it so much.
Well, I think that's why that was one of the main reasons why he left, just because they were just going off. They were changing the story.
It was crazy. I was reading the books actually, because it was like he's not doing it to the books. I'm like, well, I played the game, but the game Geralt is however I choose Geralt to be. But then in the books, I mean, yeah, it's a lot more philosophical and conversational and like investigative.
Yeah.
But he does voice it all. Like he does talk about it with his companions. It's not even internal monologue. And then in the show, he just sort of grunts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vesemir is
Vesemir.
Yeah, I've got the first book that I want to read, but
well, which one?
Oh shoot. What is right down here? What is?
Because I think there's like the first book in I think he wrote like a series, and then there were two. He did 2 sort of pre-stories, and those 2 pre-stories, that's just like a book of short stories.
Oh,
the last wish.
Yeah. So he had an original trilogy, which was I think a direct storyline, which I haven't read yet. But then he did 2 books of short stories.
Okay.
Which I think The Last Wish is the first one of that, and those are actually what the show is based on. Like there's like, so you'll be reading that book and you're like, oh, this is from the show. I know it.
Oh.
And it's it actually stays very, very close to the book in terms of.
Well, that makes sense because they got like the show people on the.
Yeah. In a lot of the events, it's very close to the show.
Okay.
But it's not the original trilogy.
Yeah, he went back and wrote like more of a
origin
sort of origin-ish. Yeah, I mean like how he meets Yennefer and whatnot. Because like look in the games, right? Yennefer's grown up completely. Not Yennefer, Ciri.
Yeah.
Ciri's grown up in the games and like later in the show, and I think that is what's the other books are.
Okay.
Are later in it, and so this is just like the origin of Geralt, Yennefer, and sort of Ciri together. Again, I haven't read the books. I don't know. This is just me assuming that's what it is.
I think the lore in The Witcher is super interesting. But
yeah.
But I've been playing a little bit of. I've been playing some more Halo. They introduced a new like temporary season. And they have finally implemented a community playlist based off of Forge maps. So there's like 4 or 5 maps that I guess 343 has gone over and made sure they were balanced enough to introduce them. But really fun. Really, what Halo needed this is what Halo needed.
This is what we talked about a few weeks ago.
More maps, and they're incredible, and they're a lot of fun. it's one of those where it's right now, since it's part of like this temporary season pass thing or whatever event, you just jump into the community playlist and it picks, Slayer, Capture the Flag, whatever. So you don't get to choose necessarily what you want to play, but it's so refreshing that it doesn't really matter because the maps are all really good. I hope they just throw them into the queue after this, and just add them into the game permanently. But we'll see what happens with that. But so far, really fun. I think it's going to run for another week or so. But yeah, exactly what Halo needed. Just more maps.
That's what they need.
Yeah.
That, maybe add some new guns, maybe add some legacy weapons to Infinite, and there you go.
It's been a while since I played, but is it still a grind of a battle pass?
Not really. They really so ever since the winter update, they overhauled the XP system tremendously.
Okay.
So it's no longer, like, as far as like your dailies and like your weekly challenges, it's no longer based on playlists. So it's based on like,
nice.
Now unless it's like an event like this one, it'll say, get so much in this particular playlist. But for the most part, it's just like your like cumulative score based on however many matches you play to get that, kill 30 enemies with assault rifle, battle rifle, or pistol, human weapons, whatever. You get XP for completing a map like normal, a match like normal. You also get more XP for winning. You get more XP for if you're in the top 50% of your team. So they
nice.
really overhauled
skill based
doing it.
Yeah.
A lot more skill based. And then they've got like, you can always get like double XP and stuff like that. So I think I'm like level 80 now in the battle pass. So it's taken me a little bit longer, but I felt like I also flew through the first battle pass like really quickly. But yeah, they did a really good job of overhauling that system because it was kind of bad.
It was
prior to that change.
It just didn't reward you for playing well.
Yeah, it didn't reward you for playing well, and then it made you use guns that you didn't want to use, and playlists that you didn't want to play. So,
especially like back when it launched, when everything was random, it's like, play 10 oddball matches. Well, that's up to the game if I can play 10 oddball matches. Like,
exactly,
that's random.
Yeah.
It's like
you've got like the challenge swaps. If it's something like you don't really want to do, like get 10 sniper kills or something like that, you could swap it to something else. But they did a really good job of overhauling that system. And like the networktivity is a lot better than it was. So they got season 3 starting in March, which they're adding, I think, 2 new maps, a new weapon, and some other changes. So I mean, it feels like it's on the up and up, but obviously with all the stuff the last month or so with layoffs and stuff, there's a lot of negative space around Halo. But the game itself is, like you said, Nick, we've been talking about for a long time. The gameplay itself is phenomenal. Yeah, it feels really good to play. Just not enough content, just not enough maps, and it seems like they're finally getting into that direction. So
yeah, that's good.
But other than that, I'll briefly talk about Zelda Minish Cap. It's obviously an old game at this point, but oh my gosh, like this is like the main Zelda game that I've missed for whatever reason. I don't know if I was just done with the Game Boy whenever it came out, because I remember you bought it and you played it. And I for whatever reason just missed it, and it looks so beautiful handheld on the Switch. Like Capcom needs to make another, whether it's Capcom or Nintendo, and they just make a HD, 2D graphic pixel art Zelda. I need that again. As much as I liked Link's Awakening and like that art style, I need it to be that pixel art style again, because it just looks so good.
There's something about those games, just the pixel art games, that
just looks
it's
beautiful,
more
man.
fun. I don't know why.
It's incredible. It looks so good. Now it's still like, having to go into the menus again to swap out.
Yeah,
your
that's a little archaic, but
it's a little archaic, but it's fine. There's the roll mechanic in the game, which I think that was the only 2D Zelda to have a roll mechanic, which was, I think so, right? I don't think Link's Awakening did.
No, it didn't.
So that's really cool. That can kind of like speed up like getting across the map and stuff like that. So yeah, it's incredible. I'm so glad I finally get to play it.
Man, I'm excited you're playing it. This is like one of my favorite Zeldas.
Yeah,
I want to go and play it again, but
yeah, all the Capcom games are amazing. I don't know why they never did another one.
I don't know. Did they not sell well? Like I guess like Minish Cap came out at the end of the GBA's life cycle, so it was a little bit late, but damn, they put out some good games.
Yeah, they did. And then the last game before we jump into the news, I've been playing some Hi-Fi Rush. I finally booted it up. I think I was initially turned off because I'm just not a huge rhythm person when it comes to games. And after about
15, you don't like Rock Band?
I do. Well, Rock Band's different. But aside from like Rock Band and like Guitar Hero and stuff, like I'm not a huge like music rhythm guy as far as games go. And after about 20 minutes, I was hooked, man. The gameplay is so fun. Like I was like bobbing my head and tapping my foot to the rhythm, and just once you start, you hit X like 4 times in a row, and then like the circle comes and you mash it, and it makes you feel really good.
Feels good.
Yeah. And then the story's cool. I mean, like the art, the gameplay is like flawless. The art style is super cool. Like the kind of like, I don't know.
It's kind of like a cartoon. It's like I don't know.
I wouldn't say it's like cell shading necessarily, but it kind of feels like that way. But yeah, it feels like watching like a cartoon. Like it feels really good. I love it. I love it so far.
So how far in are you?
I think I'm a few hours in at this point. I think I'm like on level 4 maybe. So
you're pretty close where I am.
Yeah,
I think I'm on like track 5 or 6.
Okay, yeah. So far, like the bosses I've faced are fun. Like it just feels really good to play, and then just nail the rhythm.
Yeah, like once you're in the groove, it's just like you're listening to a song.
Yeah. When I was like nail it, like after about the 20-30 minutes, and I got the gist of how to play it, and like I nailed like my first like 50 hit combo or 20 hit combo, whatever it was, and then did the special. I was just like, hell yeah, this is awesome. So,
man, yeah, glad you're liking it. That is a big water bottle.
Yeah, my
what is that? What is that? 100 ounces?
I don't know. I think it is. It probably is.
Probably is.
Probably is. All right, but you want to dive into to the news? Mainly, it's kind of all Nintendo.
Yeah, that Nintendo Direct, man.
Yeah, so we got the announcement of the Nintendo Direct on the 7th, and then on Wednesday on the 8th, we got it.
You called it.
I did. I don't want to take credit. I don't want to.
You had a Nintingle.
I did. I had a Nintingle, and it came to fruition. So, yeah, this was obviously a really hyped Direct. I mean, all Directs are kind of hyped at this point, but coming off that September one, that was not so great. It was Farm Simulator and then 30 Seconds of Zelda.
And we got 2 minutes of Zelda.
Yeah, we got 2 minutes of Zelda now. So we've doubled our intake of Zelda. But yeah, this was one of the best Directs in years, I think.
Yeah, I mean, what did we get? We got Metroid Prime, which has been rumored for a long time.
Yep.
We got a deeper dive look into Tears of the Kingdom. That looks phenomenal.
That game looks like I see why it's taken so long, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna have like Banjo-Kazooie, like nuts and bolts, like building style of where you can just kind of build your own, build your vehicles
own craft,
and stuff,
like aircraft or whatever you want.
It looks insane.
Which is what people did in the first game. Like people made their own I don't know, like ships.
Use the carts and stuff and like put bombs on them and blew it up and went flying. Like all the stuff you could do in the game was crazy.
Yeah, it feels like they're just building on that, and yeah. It's gonna be a good Matthew game.
The fact that you can interact with everything, is just it's next level. It's like, oh, that's not just art. That's not just a backdrop. That is something you can still interact with that. Like, yeah.
My big theory for the game is there's going to be timeline collision. Like timelines are going to collide in this game. Because there's a shot in the trailer where it's like Link is flying on that like that drone looking thing, and in the background there's an oddly it's a sphere shape, and it looks like the moon from Majora's Mask, like the way it's carved, like its lips are carved out. You can't see its nose because it's behind like a floating platform, but the lips, it looks like the lips from the moon from Majora's Mask.
I mean, with all of the all the multiverse stuff that's been going on the past few years with every franchise, I wouldn't put it past Zelda to put everything they can into this game. And maybe that's why it took so long, because like when they were talking about like why the development has taken as long as it has, they're like, there's been other stuff that we've wanted to put in this game that has prolonged development. And it's not just the sky stuff. Yeah. It's not just hey, now there's floating platforms in the sky that you can go onto and jump off of. It's like there's got to be more to it than that.
There seems to be caves and stuff too. So I mean, there's multi-layers to this game. Yeah, this game is going to be freaking wild, man. Like, I cannot wait. So yeah, it ended with that. Obviously, we were kind of debating last week with like what would it end on and stuff like that. So, but we got our answer with Zelda, and hey, they showed off an awesome trailer. We got to hear Ganondorf speak for the first time. That was cool. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we got to look at Pikmin 4. I think that looks like it looks
really good.
Looks really good. I'm not the world's biggest Pikmin fan, but
visually, I mean, looks.
Yeah, I'll probably pick it up.
We got DLC for Fire Emblem, Xenoblade, Splatoon.
Yeah,
bunch of games. I mean, a lot of additional content for those games.
The Xenoblade stuff looks. The fact that like Shulk is like grown up now and.
Shulk and Rex.
Yeah, growing
Daddy
up
Rex.
Like that. You know, I haven't played Xenoblade 1 and 2, but that was pretty huge for that community, because those are two big characters.
Yeah.
So, what else did we get? We got the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance.
Oh yeah, that's a huge announcement.
That was huge and kind of unexpected. I didn't really expect to see that at all, but
I had given up hope at this point.
Yeah, but they shadow dropped that, I guess, essentially. That launched the same day. And Game Boy is for the basic tier, right?
Yeah, Game Boy's for the base tier. Game Boy Advance is for the
expansion pack.
Okay. So that's a pretty good compromise. I mean, adding anything to the base tier is pretty good.
Yeah.
But it made you pick up the.
I did. I dropped the $30 to, because I really wanted to play Zelda. So
yeah,
they got me. Their marketing worked.
They done got you.
They done got me. I'm excited because I've never actually completed this game, but Ghost Trick Phantom Detective.
Oh yeah, you were hyped for this one.
It was an iPhone game and an original DS game, and it's a puzzle game where your character dies in the very beginning of the game, and you become like this ghost, and you can interact with objects in the environment, and you have to like interact. So I can't remember all the gameplay details, but it's a really cool like puzzle game. So I'm excited for that to come back at some point. I don't know. I don't think they ever had a release date for that, but
I think they said summer.
Summer. Okay, sweet. Yeah. Really, it's a really solid game. I don't think it'd be any more than like $20 maybe. So relatively low asking price for what it is. But and I don't know, unless they do some crazy stuff to it. But it seems like it's probably just a remastered port. But well, we got Game Boy Advance games launch. We got Super Mario Advance 4, WarioWare, Kuruin, Mario Kart Super Circuit, Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, and then the Minish Cap Zelda.
Yeah, and then on the way it was Fire Emblem, Golden Sun, Metroid Fusion. A lot of good Game Boy Advance games. A lot of great games.
Yeah, there's a bunch. There's people that have kind of theorized that like whenever Pokemon has their direct, that they're gonna announce Pokemon games coming, but I don't know.
I think they will.
You think so? I think the Pokemon company is too stingy with.
Nah, I think Ruby, Sapphire, Crystal, or not Crystal, Ruby, Sapphire. Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald,
Yeah.
and then yeah,
Silver,
Red.
Silver, Gold, and Crystal.
Yeah, maybe the original games too. Maybe Red, Blue, Yellow.
That'd be cool. I mean, that would be huge. People would love that.
It's possible.
Advance Wars 1 and 2. I think we expected that to be a Shadow Drop game, but it's coming in April 21st.
Yeah.
So we finally got a confirmation for that thing is not dead. Are you gonna pick this thing up?
I don't know. I think I will.
It looks cool. It looks like it looks like it's quite different from Fire Emblem.
Yeah. It's a lot more like year. It's a lot more casual in the sense that it doesn't matter really who dies in your camp.
Okay. We got another look at Bayonetta Origins. I think I'll end up picking this game up.
I think this is a pass for me.
Yeah, I like the demo that I played. And then we got another look at Sea of Stars, which the demo just came out that same day. I think I've got it downloaded. I've got to play through it. We got to look at that epilogue for Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, which I think is gonna be a pass for me on that one.
Yeah, I think so.
That Deca Police game looked pretty good from Level 5.
Yeah, that one looked pretty good. And then they had Fantasy Life, which is a return from the 3DS game, which I loved. And then they also had Professor Layton.
Yeah.
So they're Level 5s. Come back to the US. It's pretty cool.
I think that was really it, right? From are we missing anything?
What's the game called? Bots and Quesos?
Oh yeah, Bot and Kados, the Monolith Soft games.
Yeah,
they're coming back. Is it they're together, right? They're a single package.
Yeah, it's both of them together remastered, coming out in summer.
Yeah, no official date yet. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then I want to kind of briefly talk about the obviously we got the announcement of the collector's edition, and
for Zelda,
yeah, and I more so with Zelda because obviously I want this thing versus like the Xenoblade stuff, which I looking back now I wish I would have tried to get it, but I mean it is what it is. But I don't understand why we can't go in person and pre-order this thing, like special editions in general. You can for like the regular games. I just don't get why
you can't do the special edition.
I mean, I know the retailers don't care at the end of the day because they're still getting sales, regardless if it's like a bot or not picking it up. But it's really annoying.
I guess it's easier to, like, logistically, it's easier to plan when you know, like, when your system can tell you how many pre-orders you have, rather than guessing how many people are going to come in.
Yeah,
and pre-order it, but like that shouldn't matter too much when someone's coming in 3 months before and pre-ordering it.
Or like give us like a time frame, like okay, this week only, and in-person pre-ordering is allowed, and then after that it's open to the online space.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of headaches this week with the pre-orders.
Yeah, I don't know how I don't think that'll ever get solved, unfortunately. It's just one of those things. But
not if they keep having these exclusive special editions for either like their Nintendo store or just online in general. Like it's always going to be picked up by scalpers.
Yeah,
that's just how it's going to go if it's online.
Yeah, which they were kind of vague about it. They said that it was going to be available same day, the collector's edition. So I don't know if they're going to maybe just overproduce these things, and maybe there'll be some at launch or something. Maybe.
That's kind of like the best guess.
So at least I got that.
You got the physical,
the amiibo.
Oh, the amiibo. Yeah, I got the amiibo.
I did. Yeah, I did go ahead and pre-order the physical on Amazon just in case it was something crazy would happen and they didn't have any at launch. But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry you haven't been able to get it yet.
No, it's fine. I'll keep trying. And then the next up, this is not really confirmed yet, but the Zelda OLED is likely to be real based off of the collector's edition. There's a couple of insignias on the box art and one of the pins that's actually on that leaked image we saw for the OLED, and that's the first time we've ever seen those specific insignias in Zelda before. So it's not like somebody could have just randomly created that. They had to have seen something. So whether or not that OLED is like finalized and that's what it's going to look like, I think based off that, we're gonna. I think we'll probably.
We're gonna get it.
Yeah, I think it'll. I think it'll get announced like early next month for like an April release date, something like that.
Yeah, I think it'll come out early April. It'll get announced after Kirby comes out.
Yeah,
give it a little bit of time. Then
I think they didn't want to announce both the OLED and the special edition on the same day because pre-ordering would just be an absolute nightmare. So I think that makes the most sense, but I think it's absolutely real. I mean, why wouldn't it be? We got Pokemon, we got Splatoon, so
yeah, this is like the game they would want to do a special edition for the most.
Oh yeah,
this would sell the best, I think.
For sure.
I mean,
and I think they're gonna have a bunch at launch too. So we'll see.
I think they will. I think they're gonna overstock.
Yeah, I hope so.
At least I hope so.
And then lastly, obviously with Zelda, we got the confirmation that it is $70. What is your thoughts on that? Are you okay with that? I know a lot of people are upset, but I don't know. Out of all the $70 games out there right now, I think this is the one that's going to be worth it. I mean,
yeah, like a lot of people have been saying like, oh, people have been complaining for 2 years about PS5 and Xbox Series X having $70 games, but no one's complaining about Tears of the Kingdom being a $70 game. Well, because people are really looking forward to Tears of the Kingdom. No one wanted to buy Returnal at $70. No one wanted to buy Ratchet and Clank at $70.
Forspoken.
No one Callisto Protocol, Forspoken. Like those are games that should have released last generation for $60.
Yeah.
And they didn't. And of course, like Tears of the Kingdom, should it have come out earlier? Maybe. But is it a game that is going to be worth it objectively? Probably. You have people who are going to play the game for hundreds of hours at a time, and it's going to be completely worth it.
Yeah.
It's like it's $70 versus $60 when you're spending 100 plus hours in there. Like it doesn't. Yeah. It's kind of negligible at that point.
Yeah, I think the main argument people have is, at least with the Xbox and the PS5, they're on new generation hardware, and this is, I think we all expected.
Still old, yeah.
Yeah, we expected. I think we all expect that once whatever Nintendo releases next, it'll be 70 going, probably jump up to 70 going forward. But I don't think anybody expected them to go up now with no new hardware. But
I think it'll still be case by case. I think your Kirby games will still be 60. I think your Smash Bros games will be 70, and I think your
high like S tier stuff will be like Mario, Metroid, Zelda, 70, and everything else is like
your Yoshis, your Kirby's, your WarioWares, like those will be $50 or $60, and everything else will be 70.
Yeah, and then they came out and confirmed that it would be a case by case basis or whatever. But yeah, I don't think they can get away with charging 70 for like Kirby or something like that.
Oh, no shot.
So,
and they'll probably experiment with that, and it's probably going to go badly.
Yeah,
and they're going to realize that they can't get away with that, and it is what it is.
I thought honestly that they would try $70 price point with Twilight Princess and Wind Waker bundle.
Combine those and do $70. Yeah. And that would be worth it in my mind, because you're getting two relatively recent games.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I know I should be upset about it, but I'm so excited for Tears of the Kingdom that this game could be $100 and I wouldn't care.
Yeah, I mean, I already planned on getting the special edition, so I knew it was going to be at least $100. So, yeah. Again, I know that's not necessarily fair and like a valid like judgment of that game, but and I get where people are coming from, where it's no new console, no new hardware. It feels like Nintendo's
what are we
being
paying
a little
for?
bit greedy, but also there's other like reasonings, like with the cartridge. It's Breath of the Wild had a 16 gigabyte card. Now they have to jump up to 32 because the game is a lot bigger. Well, it's 18 gigabytes now, so it
has to go on that card.
It has to go on the bigger card. There's also they gave like a pay raise to their employees in Japan, so
yeah, a lot of factors.
I think it's just Nintendo testing the water to see if it's going to work for them. And I think it's a smart play to do it with Zelda, because people are going to pay whatever price. If it's $10 more, yeah, people will complain, but you're really not going to spend the $10 extra to get Zelda. Come on.
Yeah. Guess we'll see. If it sells well.
Yeah, we shall see.
Yep.
All right, Nick, any last thoughts on anything from the Direct?
Oh, man, just excited.
Yeah.
Excited for Zelda. Yeah.
I'm excited to play Metroid, man. I can't wait for it to come in.
I'm going to love it.
And play it. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap up the show. Nick, where can they follow us on our social stuff?
You follow us on Twitter at GamingWTBros. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Gaming with the Broscast. And if you want to send us any emails, ask any questions, you can email us at gamingwithbros@yahoo.com.
Sweet.
Get that Yahoo.
Sweet. All right. Well, we will see you guys next week. Matthew, we appreciate you coming and hanging out with us.
Thanks, Matthew.
Hey, thank you.
Sipping on them Heinekens.
Sipping on them Heinekens.
All right, guys. We will see y'all next week.
Bye-bye.
See ya.